Hello, I'm Michael Boyajian, and I'm going to talk briefly about one of my Mike and Jerry books. We've published 13 so far. That's the actual count, and we've got 3 more to go. One on the history of our cats, all the cats we've ever had, which goes back to law school. And also one on camping, although I covered it in the book I'm going to be talking about today. But today's book only covered the Catskill part of our camping, not the Adirondacks, which was the heavy-duty camping, bear encounters and all of that. And then the last book is about Jerry's campaign, which I was surprised that she decided to become a candidate. And then I was surprised when her presidents wanted it written about, because when she was before she crossed the Rainbow Bridge, she wanted to keep that private. But anyhow, today's book is To the Catskills with Love, and basically just going to talk about general stuff that may or may not be in the book. There is a little friction there, it's below the surface, between summer people coming up from the city or Long Island or downstate, and the long-term or lifelong residents, however you want to describe it, who've been up there for generations. And there is a little resentment there regarding the New York City reservoirs that were built in the late 19th century to supply water to New York City, which was a good calculation. They really, the growth of the city really matched the amount of reservoirs they built. The two main ones, if you're in the Catskills, are the Ashokan, which you can drive over to and pull over and walk along the promenade there. You don't need a reservoir permit. If you want to go fishing, or if you want to use a reservoir boat, you do need a permit. It's free. You just have to apply for it. You can do it online nowadays and print it out. And the other reservoir is out by Margaretville, where we had our summer home, Papacton Reservoir. And again, the place, the reservoirs are monitored by a New York City agency, Department of Environmental Protection, and they're pretty strict. The law enforcement people for that Environmental Protection Agency about the water and anyone coming near the reservoirs. But the residents up there, a lot of their towns got flooded. New York State put up signs saying, along the reservoir, saying a former site of Shokan, former site of this town. And so you could see where the towns were. Again, they moved them, but that didn't really help. It was like with Robert Moses ramming his highways through. We needed them, but they destroyed neighborhoods. Like my father's neighborhood in the Bronx. They put the cross Bronx right through the middle of it, and that was it. The neighborhood died. In one of the great urban myths or Catskill myths out there is that if you look deep enough into the reservoir waters, you can see the top of church steeples. Okay, that's the way the residents up there attach themselves to the memory of the reservoirs and the life they had before they were built, which was over 100 years from now. So none of them were around back then, but the memory carried forward by family members, generation after generation, goes on. And anyhow, that's the story. And again, if you like to go fishing in the reservoir, or use a special reservoir boat, which is like a rowboat, you need a permit from the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, which you can get online, and it's free, and it's good for 2 years. When I was still fishing, I had always kept it. And you also get the permit, parking permit free. You need that too. Don't forget that. And it's free too. Anyhow, that's the story. Have a nice day.